Testing, testing. Okay. What's up? Mhm. So we are going to we are going to finish or continue working on our drawing from yesterday. So let's just something's on my screen. Bear with me for a second. So this today's session is going to be the one word prompt is the one word prompt is wrapped. Excuse me this morning, bear with me. I am and today I want to they want to start with more emotion than anything. You know, like what am I trying to say in this piece is the question. And I don't know yet. You know, with it being the prompt being wrapped, you know, what's 2 days until Christmas. So we just need to find some inspiration for today. Um, First, welcome to Body Doubling with Channing. I'm glad we're all here. Today's session is called The Wrap. I figure it's fitting. So we're only going to draw for about an hour, and that's what body doubling is about. Just getting a solid hour of work in. Uh, we're not here to judge the pace. We're not here to judge the output, the outcome. We're only here to judge the output. So, take a moment, think about what rat means to you. All right, let's draw a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear this music. Right now we're just warming up a little bit. Trying out some new Procreate brushes. Just want to have fun this morning. No pressure. Just want to draw some cool shit. Something that's fun, something that's light, something that you know, makes everybody else want to draw, hopefully. Hmm. Hey, my AirPods and my voice cancellation on, so that's probably aren't hearing this music, which I guess is fine for YouTube purposes. I wasn't gonna draw. Not drawing anything in particular, just kind of going with it. I think I want to move this character here back a little bit. See, I personally like starting with the eyes more. I like starting with the eye, but that hinders me a little bit on the. Want a little bit of surprise. Hmm. Let's flip this guy. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of sketching, warming up a little bit. This is my first time. This is my first time drawing for today, so I necessarily don't have anything in particular that's on my mind right now. Maybe we're excited about something right here. I was gonna make him a little bit this character fatter, but you know, kind of like this neck a little bit. It's giving me a lot more energy. I typically don't draw Adam's apples, but it's kind of funny. But to make it cut, who knows? I think it'll get cut. So everyone rapping today, or rapping these last few days before the new year. One thing that I want to do before the new year is really have this prompt list done for next year. So every week I can share it on a Monday, and then we can spend the next few days drawing it, working on it, and then come back and share what we created this week or that week. This is cool, but what I don't like is that it's kind of facing one way. It's kind of obviously it's going, but now where's the where's the fun? Where's the fun? That's the thing about drawing comics. You have to find the comedy. And ideally you want to do something that you can't do in other mediums, right? Draw some exaggerated poses. So let's make that. Let's move this guy up a little bit. We'll put the theme up there. So I think I'm gonna guide my figure out where. So if I'm facing this way, this kind of the chest area, and then you know, see maybe this being is a little too long. So let's condense it a little bit. Once again, I'm just kind of playing around right now. You want to find something that you like. So that feels more pleasing. A little too strict though. Now I'm doing now, just kind of removing lines a little bit, just seeing what's coming out of it. You know, now do I want to, you know, not enough, it's not flowy enough. It's not fun enough, just to say that. Too still. Sometimes you can just take the opacity down and erase it a little bit, just so you can erase, but you know, give it a real pencil effect as if you're drawing on paper. So you don't want to erase everything, because some of those lines they help give you direction of what you want, where you want to go next. And so, for instance, like what I don't like is, so my body is going that, so it's the hat falling back, you know. Mm, I don't know where we at. also realized that like I don't know animation in the body. Let's bring the beam back a little bit, and now it adds a little bit more. I'm just kind of drawing an outfit on him a little bit. It's much better. Now we're getting more motion in there. Uh, Man, I wish I could, Justin, man, but it feels like my audio is not cooperating. But actually, let's see what we can do. One second. Let me see what I can do. See if I can get some music going for you guys, so it's just not me. Silence over here. Let's see what we can do. So Let's see. Welcome to Bayou Dublin with Shannon, everybody. I appreciate you all joining me this morning. I'm glad we're all here. Uh, one second. What about now? All right, a little too loud, huh? What about now? Testing, 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 testing. Not too loud, is it? All right. I hope that's slightly better. Hmm. All right. Get back to it. What's up, Sean? No, man, this is Procreate on the iPad. So, welcome to Body Doubling with Channing, everybody. We've been going for about almost an hour now. You know, Have some preliminary sketches in, just kind of warming up. Uh, Today's prompt was rap, so yeah, man, we got a Apple Pencil, and so Apple Pencil and Procreate, iPad's really all you need. What I like about it is because it allows me to, I can go anywhere with it, travel, seamless. And then what I typically do, or what I'm going to start doing more of, is, uh, drawing here first, sketching here, and then going on to a larger canvas if I like it. But Procreate's great for getting ideas out, and you can obviously do final, finished products in here as well. That's what I did. I went ahead and create like a comic sheet to help give me, frame borders. So that's what you see around the edges. Let it catch up a little bit. There's a little lag between Instagram and YouTube and the software that I'm using. So I need to remind myself to slow down a little bit. And so yeah, what you're seeing right now on Instagram is the full frame, full artboard. It's a little template I made, the little channel code logo on the very bottom of it. You know, well as my name outside. But yeah, welcome to Body Doubling with Channing. Uh, Continue drawing. And once you get you get your base down, now you can come back in and figure out actually how you want it to go. Mm. Once again, the thing about comics is that you don't have to be so anatomically correct. You can just play around, see what comes with it. Mm. So yeah, in essence, this is what bodybuilding is. We come sit down for an hour or so, and we draw. You can work on something else. I'll typically be drawing. Uh, but yeah, the goal of bodybuilding is just to the goal of bodybuilding is to just get some work done collectively together. You know, you show up with something, I'm gonna show up with something, and over the next hour, we'll make progress on that thing, whatever that thing is. It's not about perfection, as you can see. These are all rough. It's just a way to practice, a way to have a format for getting things accomplished. And so, like I said, this is what we'll do, really starting in every every Monday, 2026. This is what we'll be doing. We want the cuff to come out, over the top. So, just bring that out a little bit. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Uh, so even right here, like this is a good example, right? Like I love how let's change it up a little bit. I love the curve of this right here, but then like I love the curve of this, but then this kind of like flattens it out, makes it boring. So what I'll do then is find a good middle ground. So if I erase this little middle part right here, these little middle lines, and then I just follow the hand down. Okay, so that's the arm, right? Now I want to erase this a little bit and then give this some of that same curve, right? Now we have something. Now we got some motion, got a little bit of overlap. And now I can erase this and it just still has that same flowy energy to it. Uh, and this is a lot of what illustration is, just finding the lines, experimenting, doesn't be perfect, just has to communicate what the idea is. So even like right there, I kind of flattened it out a little bit, and I liked how the original. So even going back to like the lines, like what do I like about this? This probably should be something more like that, but I definitely would still want to show the arm, right? So I'm gonna lay this underneath this layer just so it doesn't hide it, so I can see where I want to be. Now look at that yellow, looks really good. So now I can just go over it. little, a little fold. All right, now we'll be wrapping up soon. But I do want to add a little bit more personality to the beard. Right now, as you can see, it looks a little, it's flat. Right, got the rough shape in there, but it's flat. And also, I could also do as well is probably add a little bit more, a little curvature to the mouth, a little more fun, Don't be so flat. Once again, the beautiful thing about illustration is that there are really no rules. The only rule is, does it communicate what you want it to, right? And what I love about this is that, you can go back and rewatch these and draw along or draw something else on YouTube, Twitch. Uh, Instagram won't be the place where I'll keep these long term, but it's just good to, get on live and have questions or, share thoughts, share ideas. Uh, so draw a little beard overlap. And as you're sketching, you'll see that sometimes some of your sketches will give you some of the lines. I actually like that. It'd be more loose. Like I want to be fun. I want the illustration to that's a little too loose, huh? Something like that. Obviously, you got the underline of the beard going that way. So now we just got to something like that, but probably more like that. Then we can come back in here and just, erase a little bit like that. Hmm. And also, your eraser can be a tool as well. Like it's not always just about, making marks. Sometimes it's about removing marks. So starting, as of yesterday, I will begin sketching live every Monday, at least for the next year. That's my goal. So my goal is every Monday. It was at 8 p.m., but I personally like drawing more in the morning. It helps, be creative, helps me think through things or, you know, uh, what I'm working on throughout the day. So it's just a good way to get the brain moving in the morning. So I may switch from 8 p.m. to, 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning. But the goal is to sketch every morning. Uh, and I'll go live probably at least once a week, uh, scheduled. And then the rest of those lives will be impromptu like today. Last night I was gonna go live. I did go live and then had technical difficulties. So I've woke up this morning and was like, man, I can't let this week go by without doing it. So, fuck the excuses and just sit my ass down and draw. Uh, and that's where we are today. So, I also will release a prompt list. Um, Matter of fact, let me see if I can go ahead and share it real quick. I'm always hesitant to like do too much clicking around on this while I'm going live because you never know what could go wrong. So, but let me pull up the this- so this will be what it looks like. 1 second. Oh, all program. See? So this would be the prompt list. Yeah, so Sean, what I'm doing, I'm freestyling right now, man. The theme this week is rap, but this will be the prompt list for 2026. Uh, I'm calling it Cartoon Your Year. Let me see. You know, Cartoon Your Year challenge, 52 weeks, 52 cartoons. And like I said, every this will be the prompt list right here, one every week. So people, I'll release these, and then everybody can kind of draw along with me, and we'll see what we come up with. Feel free to share it online, tag me, tag by Devin Channing, and I'll post on that page too. That page isn't always about just my own drawings or own art. It's about whatever gets accomplished this week during body doubling. So that could be a chore, could be a book, could be studying, could be drawing, could be writing, uh, whatever. This is what body doubling is about: sitting down together, working together, getting an hour or so of work in, but this solid focus. And that could be anything, like I said, writing, drawing, whatever. I appreciate that, man. I definitely share it with you, bro. Definitely share it with you. I appreciate that support, man. And that's what it's all about, y'all, man. It's just finding like-minded people, like-minded creatives, uh, that want to work, man. I want to get some shit done. And that's what this is. And so as you can see, I probably won't finish this today. I've already been drawing for about an hour and a half. And this is as far as I got. But like I said, the goal for body doubling is not necessarily to walk away with the finished product. If you can, great. If not, then this is what it is. But we showed up. We got an illustration done this morning, or started this morning. And, you know, now you can take this and we can work on it for the rest of the week. See what comes of it. Another technique I like doing as well is sometimes it's good to if you can't land the shape, or if you can't land like the drawing, start off rough. Get you a larger brush, like let's see what this mint brush looks like. It's a little too big, but kind of a cool little texture though. Let's go to like some watercolor. You can experiment with all these different painting techniques and coloring techniques and brushes, and figure out what you like, figure out your style. And it kind of helps just give the art sometimes a foundation. Try different brushes, See, that one was cool, but it's a little wetter than I like it to be typically. I didn't realize that this brush is it's more pressure. The more pressure you apply, the darker it gets, which is cool. Nice little water brush. I mean, watercolor brush. Hmm. Just smudging a little bit to like, hide some of these hard edges. Um, Also, you can, I typically don't color before I, finish my line art, but we'll be wrapping this up soon. So I just wanted to get to a place where you can see some color. And like I said, hopefully this inspires, you know, you join me next time. Gonna walk you through what I've learned, walk you through what kind of brushes I'm using, how I think about color, how I approach color, how I approach illustration. All right, let me finish inking this up and then I'll call it a night. I'll call it a day. One thing you also want to do is avoid line tangents. So, for instance, like I had this handle like hitting right on the edge of the cuff of the sleeve, and you really don't want that. It just adds confusion to it. And so, what you really want to do is just probably let me come on a different layer, and I'll just kind of draw it out here and different color, something like that. Maybe let's go back up here to this to our sketch art. Let's remove some of these lines so you can see a little bit better. Something like that. I like this line. These I can probably get rid of. And see, if you have strong enough lines, sometimes they'll guide you the rest of the way. So, like I said, welcome to Body Doubling with Channing. I apologize. Welcome to Body Doubling with Channing. Bring whatever you're working on. Uh, bring whatever you're working on, and we'll take about an hour and get it done. Also, I'll do. I like this, but like, I like someone from that. I'm just gonna rotate it. I want to add more motion to it, so you can just make simple adjustments like that. Fill it in a little bit, just like that. And then for this part, I'm gonna bring it over a little bit, like that. man, we're on the wrong layer. Oh, I know what's happening. Still think I want to. Like, what happens if I show the arm more and I bring this down? We won't do that right now, but we probably will do it over the weekend, with the week. Let's just let's ink it real quick and then we'll call it a day. I kind of like that line, so I'm gonna keep that line. So sometimes you'll end up with a better line than you would inking it. So sometimes you gotta like find the balance between the sketch and the final line art when you retain the energy. You don't want that finished look to take away from the art of it. I'm gonna have to fix this hand. It's not giving me what I want, so I'll come back to it. Hmm. Hmm. Let's try something real quick. Let's try something. I like to simplify shit a little bit more. I could give him green sandwich. All right. I think that's it, y'all. I think we've successfully completed a body doubling with Channing session today. I appreciate you all joining me today. All right, y'all. All right, you all. Thank you for joining me for a body doubling with Channing. I'm glad we're all here. Join me again next Monday. I'll let you know on the time. It may be 8 a.m., it may be 8 p.m. I like drawing in the mornings. That's when I get my ideas. That's when I feel like I can flow the most. So that's what we'll be doing. I think the Instagram is frozen, but that's all good. That's why you join me on YouTube. Doesn't get frozen on YouTube, doesn't get frozen on Twitch. So join me there next time.